It's Sunday. I have a massive headache, and my dog just had diarrhea all over the carpet. What better time to write about my top 8 games of 2014? Because I really need to relive some happy memories right about now. I'm doing a top 8 because I rarely play games that came out recently. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm something of a retro gaming whore. And these are all the games that came out in 2014 that I played and liked. There's literally only one AAA game on the list. So take this as a notification of games that you might not have heard of, but should probably check out. Except for number 1, you've definitely heard of number 1 by now. Oh, and unlike last year, I don't really have the time or the energy to do a cute mock Game of the Year list, so these are literally just 8 games I rather liked. You with me? Good. This is the Pants List. Top 8 games of 2014. Number 8. The Last Tinker, City of Colors! This is a 3D action-adventure game in the vein of classic PS2 adventures like Jak and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank. You play as Koru, a monkey-like boy who's something of an outcast in his world, as he doesn't really fit into the red, green, or blue districts of the City of Colors. It's not long into the game that Koru finds himself accidentally responsible for the descent of bleakness onto the city, the evil white goop that drains all color from the environs and the citizens, petrifying them in the process. I found the game very easy, except for the rail segments, and between the lack of a challenge or a gripping storyline, I had difficulty staying engaged to the end. However, this would likely be a fantastic game for parents to play with their children, and as such, it gets on my list of the best games of 2014. Number 7. Crimson Clover World Ignition! As a guy who sucks at shooters in general, I've stayed far away from the bullet hell genre. After all, if I suck that much ass when I'm in bullet kinda shitty place, then bullet hell is likely to make me wet myself. But I caught a glimpse of Crimson Clover in a video made by Super Bunny Hop, and I'm glad I did because Crimson Clover is the most accessible bullet hell game I've ever played. It looks like it's hard as hell and insane, but it's not. If I can play this game and have an absolute blast, then you can too. It's extremely affordable, and the challenge you face is entirely up to you. The only reason it's not higher up on this list is that a playthrough is pretty short, about a half an hour or so. But I've played through it a bunch of times, and I still go back to it now and then. Number 6. The Fall! This Kickstarter success story is a rather unique adventure with cover-based shooting and some amazingly pitch-black humor. You play as the AI of a combat armor suit, trying desperately to find medical help for the unconscious pilot inside it. The writing is spectacular, with some thoroughly believable interactions between your AI and other AIs. The puzzles are occasionally obtuse and difficult to figure out, but the payoff is usually worth it. This is one of the funniest, most interesting games I've played all year, and I'm really looking forward to the release of episodes 2 and 3. Number 5. Shovel Knight! Some modern 8-bit games have let me down, like Evoland, but gratefully Shovel Knight doesn't. This love letter to the NES is wonderful fun. It's an action RPG perfectly modeled after the greatest platformers from the NES days. Including responsive combat, tons of hidden secrets to be found, it's fantastic fun. There's plenty of old school challenge, unlockable and purchasable upgrades, and some truly brilliant chiptune music. If you like old school retro challenge, this is the best NES style game I've ever played. Number 4. Hyrule Warriors! Nintendo is back in a big way. They are knocking it out of the park, apparently, but their first step was the brilliantly fun Hyrule Warriors. It's a mashup nobody could have predicted, and it's even less likely that anyone could have predicted it would work this well. I've never played any of the Dynasty Warriors games, but now I'm thinking I should give the series a shot. Hyrule Warriors is phenomenal fun, especially when played in co-op with a friend. Tons of depth, with alternate game modes and unlockable abilities and upgrades, makes this one of the most worthwhile purchases I've made in 2014. Number 3. Magicians and Looters! This Metroidvania was a huge surprise. It was a giveaway, part of Indie Gamer Chick's brilliant Games Matter program, and I could easily tell why it ranked so high with her. This is an amazing game. Excellently designed, wonderfully absurd. It's got some great combat with multiple strategic options for every situation, but that writing. I got as far as the Fruit Magician and heard his amazing theme song and instantly knew that this game had to be on the list. It's incredibly silly fun, or incredibly fun silliness. Either way, it's worth a purchase. Go check it out. Number 2. Escape Goat 2! I reviewed this game for Leviathan.com, and after I was done playing, I immediately purchased the soundtrack and the first game. It's the best kind of puzzle platformer. Tightly designed, brilliant controls, and endless replayability thanks to an easy-to-use level designer and Steamworks. There are some great touches in the characterization and the writing, but that soundtrack is just beyond inspired. The only game soundtrack I listened to more often this year took the number 1 spot. Easily Puzzle Game of the Year and my number 2 pick for 2014. Phenomenal game. Number 1. Tesla Effect! Is anyone actually surprised? I waited 16 years for this game. I flew down to Salt Lake City for the world premiere, and I had the time of my life meeting some of my heroes and some of my favorite internet friends. I made a freaking 90-minute documentary about it, for God's sake. And the game is excellent. It wasn't everything I wanted, but it was worth the wait. Fantastic characters, amazing writing, and an epic soundtrack. FMV done right, the way seemingly only the Tex Murphy group can. What else could possibly be my game of the year for 2014? I just hope there's more adventures on the horizon, and that we don't have to wait another 16 years for them.